The World Bank has revised its FY23 GDP growth forecast for India from 6.5% to 6.9%. The World Bank has cited tightening monetary policy and high commodity prices as the key factors impacting India's growth. It also expects the inflation rate to come within the RBI's tolerance band of 2 to 6% by the first half of FY24.
Our projection, as you said, is 7.1 for this fiscal year. Our projection for the next fiscal year is 5.1. So we're expecting inflation to come back within the tolerance range of 2 to 6%. A part of that is a reflection of our assessment that food price pressures will ease over the next few months.
Well, that's the World Bank's forecast for India. The big event we're watching out for, the Reserve Bank's Monetary Policy Committee will announce its rate decision tomorrow. As per a poll conducted by CNBC-TV18, the street is factoring in a 35 basis point rate hike. Ritu Singh joins us with the key findings of the CNBC-TV18 poll. Ritu.
The Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee is widely expected to hike rates by 35 basis points in this policy and bring the repo rate to 6.25%, according to the majority of the respondents to our poll. Now, this will be the fifth consecutive rate hike by RBI, but the pace of the hikes is expected to be slower, with some moderation expected in inflation and signs of a slower growth. Now, as far as the peak repo rates are concerned, the respondents were divided between 6.25 or 6.5%, with some even expecting peak rates at 6.75% in this hiking cycle. The inflation forecast for the year is widely expected to be left unchanged, and similarly, the GDP forecast of 7% for FY23 is also unlikely to be tinkered with in this policy. Now to the stance, where will they pivot or will they not is a question. Well, not yet, according to our poll, with half the respondents voting for the stance being retained at withdrawal of accommodation, with a third expecting some tweak in the wording of the stance only. So in terms of what the markets will be closely watching out for, well, the wording of the stance, of course, and the voting pattern also, because any disagreements between the members of the MPC will be a focus area, because it was evident from the last minutes of the meeting that two of the external MPC members, Dr. Ashima Goyal and Dr. Jayant Verma, are likely to vote for a smaller increase in the repo rate or no hike at all, and some view this as a sign that the rate hiking cycle is close to an end. The other focus will be the transmission of rates, because if you look at the data on your screen, while RBI has hiked rates by 190 basis points between Jan and November, bank lending rates have only gone up by 80 basis points, so the transmission is just about 42%. And when you compare this with other countries, transmission is near perfect in countries like the US, South Africa, Australia, even to an extent in Canada, Mexico as well, but India really lags behind with just 42% of the rate hike transmitted. So this is an important metric that the MPC will keep in mind.
We will be watching the commentary closely. Ritu, many thanks for joining us. And that's it then on this edition of Business 360. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned. The news continues on the other side.